Hello everyone, today I'll be discussing about Abc Xyz segmentation, why Abc Xyz segmentation, what is Abc Xyz segmentation, why an industry or a business would need Abc Xyz segmentation, and then we'll jump into the system and to see how SAP IBP helps in performing Abc Xyz segmentation, what are the various options available, and how we can, as a consultant, we can configure this Abc Xyz app according to the business need. So yeah, what is Abc Xyz analysis? So in a simple term, it would be like Abc Xyz analysis is to form a category for product or product group or product customer combination based on their revenue, demand. So it actually helps a demand planner to divide products based on their revenue. That is the product which forms the 80% of the industry revenue or 70% of the industry revenue. So that will form under A category, and then the remaining 20% will form in the B category, and then the 10% or the 5% will fall in the C category, depending upon how much you have maintained the value for the A, B and C segmentation. And for the XYZ, it will be like the constant demand would fall into X, and then sporadic demand would fall into Z. So these segmentation rules actually can be user defined, okay, and on the business needs it can be configured based on the specific requirements. It can also be configured. So these segmentation rules can be performed individually also. So suppose if a business doesn't want to perform in XYZ, they only care about ABC. So yeah, you can do that, performing on the ABC segmentation. And if a business wants both ABC XYZ or only XYZ, so yeah, you can carry out this ABC mix of ABC XYZ, individual XYZ in SAP through SAP IBP. So why would a business need Abc Xyz? So to answer this, consider a scenario where there are thousands of products, and sales and operation meeting is being conducted every month. So now, instead of focusing on all the thousands of products, what would a demand planner would do? They will actually do an ABC segmentation in order to categorize based on the revenue, suppose, or based on the revenue and the demands. Based on that, to make a group of product or a group of product customer that will have high volume and constant demand, so that they can focus their studies on to that and carry out some meaningful task, so that it will help a business to evolve, to perform better. So this is why ABC and XYZ segmentation is so important. So now the picture that you are seeing on the screen right now is an illustration of an ABC and XYZ segmentation when carried out, how this is going to help a business. So left hand side in the y-axis you will find A, B, C, and the x-axis you will find X, Y, Z. So and X, the product that will fall into X will be a constant demand, the demand that doesn't varies a lot, based on the historical pattern. So under the Y category, the products will have a trend. It will follow some trend, increasing or decreasing, or will have a seasonality into that, so that will specifically fall into Y, and then the sporadic demand will fall in under Z. And similarly, in the when the high volume products or a product customer would fall into A, then medium volume, and then the low volume would fall into C. So when we will perform the ABC and the XYZ segmentation, the combination of the product and the customer will fall into these individual boxes. So so that when the SNOP meeting is taking place, or when the demand review is taking place, so the business would specifically concentrate or focus on AX, AY, AZ product and then BX, BY product, so that they can take key decisions, because these are the products which forms the which give you the more number of revenue, which generates more number of revenue, and so this is how it is going to help a business when ABC and XYZ is carried out. So this is an illustration from the SAP. So we'll be seeing each and every steps when we will go into the system. So let's quickly go into the system. Okay, so this is the planning book, and here in the left hand side under the key figure you will find there are actuals quantity and actuals revenue. Let's quickly go into the edit view and see what all options are there. So in another planning level, I have just placed product and customer. However, you can take location also, because my actuals quantity is at the level of product, location, customer, but I chose to have product and customer. So let's go to the key figure. So the actuals quantity, this actuals quantity is actually from the SAP ECC or the S4 or any legacy system, where the sales order is captured, and this historical sales order transferred or passed into IBP through an SCI or a CPI, and in the form of an actuals quantity. So actuals quantity have will have a value which will have a sales order, and then actuals quantity adjusted. So generally what I do is whenever there is an actuals quantity captured into SAP IBP, I perform history cleansing, wherein I remove any missing values or remove any outliers, and then take the value in the actuals quantity adjusted. So this becomes the main input for my statistical forecast. Then there is the actuals revenue. So in the actuals revenue, I have the revenues for the individual products sold out to the customers. So let's get into the planning book. So this is how it looks like. Now there are 6 products here. There are 6 products, and every product has 2 customers. So this is how my planning book looks like. This is where I'll be carrying out my ABC XYZ segmentation. So this is the app. This is the web UI app, manage Abc Xyz segmentation rule. Okay, let's go into the system. Let's go into the app, and this is assigned to my planning area. Okay, so when this app opens, you will find ABC segmentation, XYZ segmentation over here. So if you want to go straight away to XYZ segment, you can click over here, it will go, or otherwise you can scroll up and down. And so this is just the general information, where my app is assigned to this planning area, and then you have an ABC segmentation. So let's go into an edit. Suppose there is a need from a business side that they do not want to perform an ABC segmentation, and they only want to perform XYZ. You can do that. You can just switch off or switch on. So this is so easy to work on ABC segmentation and XYZ segmentation. Now the target attribute for the segmentation result. So my product master data type has an attribute called as ABC ID, where after performing this algorithm of ABC and XYZ segmentation, I would like to save the category A, B or C depending upon the result into this particular attribute. So this is the attribute that where it will get saved, and this is the product ID, that is the root attribute for the product master data type. Then there is a segmentation measure. So on which basis, on what basis would you like to perform the ABC analysis? So as I told you earlier, that suppose 70% of the revenue is coming from product A, customer A. So this I want to save this into an A category. So my analysis would be performed on actuals revenue. So actuals revenue forms the base. So this is how this is why I have selected actual revenue over here for the segmentation measure. So based on these values, the segmentation would be carried out. So the calculation level would be at the product ID. You can choose a product group or a product family as well. Then the periodicity, I want to carry this out at the monthly, but you can always do that at the weekly, because weekly, quarterly or yearly. So there's one important note over here. So my actual revenue is at the lowest bucket level is at the V. So I can perform this at the V. So not a problem. I can very well go at the higher side, month, quarter or year. But if this is saved at the monthly level, you cannot go at the lowest level. You can always go to the higher side, but you cannot go to the lowest level. So time scope, I would like to carry this out in the past, because my actual quantity is having these sales history. So that's the reason why I've selected past. But if there is a specific need of a business that they want to carry this out based on the projected revenue or forecasted revenue, so in that case what you will have to do is you will have to select a key figure in the segmentation measure, forecasted revenue, and then you can select the time scope of future. Or you can also do it for the past and future. If suppose you have copied the past as well as the future forecasted revenue and the actual revenue into a one key figure in the, so then that key figure will have the value in the past as well as in the future. Then you can choose this as well. And my calculation horizon, I have chosen, I've selected this as 12. Remember, you should have data for that period as well. So I have data for past 24 months. So I've taken 12 months for the calculation horizon. If you want to give any offset, you can give it. I have given none because I want to start on that particular month. So there is no offset for me. Now segmentation method. Now these are the different names, but the main principle lies there only, that it will be carried out based on the Pareto. So Pareto forms the base for the ABC segmentation. So these are the name. So if you know how the Pareto chart is formed, or what are the calculations behind that, then it will be easy to understand that sorted and cumulated, wherein you calculate the cumulative frequency. Whenever you carry out the Pareto, you calculate the cumulative frequency. So this is how this is how it is carried out, and these all remains the same. So by Pareto principle, by number of items sorted percent, by number of items sorted values based on the values, but Pareto would be carried out by segmentation measure values. So suppose if so this is how it is carried out. I'll select the by Pareto principle sorted and cumulated. Okay, now the second option is, this is not a mandatory, though use grouping. You can select this as a if you select this, then the attribute, you will have to choose a attribute over here. So based on the attribute, it will form a group, and then it will carry it out for that particular group. So product group or again it depends upon the business need. So if you want to carry out for the product group, then attribute for grouping would be a product group. So currency to ID, so currency you will have to choose because you have selected actual revenue. So this becomes the mandatory field. Now the segmentation would be carried out ABC. So I have selected 70%. So whenever the revenue is more than 70%, it will fall under A. If it is 20%, so next 20%, say it will be like when you see a Pareto chart, you will find that 70%, then 20, then 10, or 80, 15, 5. So whenever there is whenever it forms a 70%, more than 70% of overall revenue, it will fall under A. When it falls at 20% of overall revenue, then it will fall under B. And then if it is less than the 10% of overall revenue, then it will fall C. So 20 to 10 will fall under B, and then less than 10 or 10 will fall under C, and more, and obviously others that is generating a higher revenue will fall under A. Now this is, you can also add if you want, but I don't want to add anything other than ABC. So ABC is more than enough for any industry. So use locking, this is one feature where you can actually lock the segment. So let's take an example that there are 10 products, okay, and the business know that this particular products, let's say product 1 is not generating 70% of the revenue or 30% of revenue, it is only generating 3 or 4% of the revenue. So after carrying out ABC analysis, it will fall under C. But that product is very important for a company, or that product is important for a company for planning purpose or for any other reason. So they want to see this product under A category. So they can, then in that case, you can use this feature, use locking, wherein you, as soon as you select this, the attribute for locking will appear, and then you will have to choose this particular ABC locked. This is the attribute ABC locked. So I'll show this unique feature of ABC analysis, how to use this ABC locked. Okay, now then there is an XYZ segmentation. Similarly, there will be an on and off switch. Okay, and then you can carry out this XYZ. So XYZ ID is the target attribute where my X, Y or Z will get saved, and the product ID. Now the XYZ ID will be carried out based on the actual quantity. So whenever the past quantity is, so there are sales order for a particular product for the past 12 months. Now if that is highly sporadic, that will fall under C. If that is constant, then it becomes easier for a planner to plan for those products. Right, for if it is following more or less a constant demand, then what happens, the accuracy with which you can plan for that product automatically becomes high. So so you can plan well ahead for that particular product. So those products I want to see that I want to fall it under X category. So based on actual quantity, it will be carried out. Since this is having only the past value, you can select this past over here. Now the periodicity is the month, and the 12 is the calculation horizon. Now there are two different ways you can calculate the strategy. One is the calculate variation. Now calculate variation is for the coefficient of variation, coefficient of variance, sorry. So coefficient of variance, CV, is the method carried out for calculate variation. Now there are two more methods under this. So CV and CV squared. Yeah, CV squared. So generally we follow, if we choose calculate variance, it is suggested to choose CV squared because it gives you a more better result than CV, because a squared will obviously remove the biasness of the negative number. So that's the reason why if you choose a CV squared, it gives you a better result. Then the segmentation method by thresholds. I have given the CV thresholds over here. So if I choose 0.5, so if it is if the variance is anyway less than the 0.5, it will fall under X. If it falls in between 0.5 and 1, it will fall under Y. And if the variance is more than 1, it will fall under Z. So variance means basically the value deviating from the mean. So the difference or the distance, if we look into the plots, you will see the distance between the mean and the particular quantity. So higher the distance between the mean and that particular number, it is more variating, and it will have a CV of a higher number. And if it is closer to the mean, it will be less. So it means that when you have a less of CV, it means that is following a more or less a constant demand. And if it is falling apart or falling, it is having a higher number of CV. So it means like the distance between the mean and that particular quantity is higher. It will fall at a Z, and it means like it will have a more sporadic demand. So the accuracy of those of the forecast of those quantity will never be good enough because that is more of a sporadic. So it will never give you a proper result. So that's why the reason we have kept those quantities in a Z category. So This is how it is performed, and you will have to choose a unit of measure. Okay, again here also you have a use locking feature, same as the ABC, where you can lock a particular product or a product customer combination under one XYZ locked ID, so that whatever the result, it will fall under that particular segment only. So I'll choose aggregate over periods, and then I'll choose aggregate over periods. Here what happens, you can actually give a number over here. So this is a feature given by the SAP recently. So what happens here is that this particular this can actually take in a key figure that has been calculated somewhere else. So what I mean by saying that, suppose now this XYZ is carried based on the actual quantity, that is the my sales history. Now I have carried out my forecast. Now while I carried out my forecast, I found that there were some errors. So based on the MAPE or the MAPE, I have carried out the forecast. Now I want to make sure that my MAPE, that is the errors, having like if the value is more than 70%, then it should fall under X. If the accuracy is more than 70%, then it should fall under X. If it is 40 to 70, then it should fall under Y, and if it is less than 40, it should fall under Z. If I want to do that, then I can very well do that by selecting this aggregate over periods, and here I can select the key figure which has been calculated in some other app like manage forecast error app. There we calculate this MAPE app, so MAPE key figure. So let's say this one, where it is, yeah, model fit error MAPE. So I have selected like 2 to 3 different forecasting model, and based on the accuracy of the model, the system will generate the value for the forecast. So I would like to select this MAPE. I can do that, or maybe I can also select where I am just calculating the MAPEs. So this is where I am calculating only the MAPE for my forecast. So if I select this, I will have to select a value over here. So I can give like less than or equal to X 70, and if it is 70 to 80, so this is the error, right? Accuracy is more than 70%, so error would be like less than 30%. So I will have to give here 30. Okay, then 30 to 70 and more than 70. So this is how you can actually adjust your XYZ. So when you save this, it will be not carried out against actual quantity, but it will carried out under the MAPE. So this key figure will have your accuracy saved once you carry out the manage forecast error app, the execution of the error. So once you have carried out, that will have those values, and based on those values, the XYZ segmentation would be carried out. So this is how the ABC XYZ segmentation you can configure in the system. So I've already done this. I will just cancel it out and come out of this app. Okay, now let's go to the planning book and let's run simple ABC XYZ. Okay, so before we run this ABC XYZ, how to execute this ABC XYZ is very important. So most of you might have come across through this one app, and you won't find ABC XYZ app, ABC XYZ operator here. So what exactly SAP has done is they have provided another way, so wherein you can execute an ABC XYZ segmentation from web UI itself, and there is another way where you can also do it through an Excel. So I'll show you both the way. So Let's go to application job first. So this is an app where which will appear like this, and when you create this new, you will have an options over here. Just see, you will find this Abc Xyz segmentation. Now this is the job template will come over here. So this is a start immediately. If you want to schedule it, you can uncheck this box and you can go here and schedule this at what time you would like to start and the time zones and rest of the things. So I would like to start this immediately. My planning area, so you will have to select a planning area from here. I have selected KPTS as the planning area. The version is the baseline segmentation profile ID. It will come over here, so you will have to choose this and then you can schedule it from here. Okay, or before scheduling, here is a note over here. So just select check. Now once you have selected check, it will give you a message that you can go ahead and schedule the job. So once this appears, you can very well go ahead and schedule the job. Okay, so this is one way you can carry out Abc Xyz segmentation through a web UI. There is one more way. Let's go and check that. Now here you will find the application job template. This is an app. So wherein you can actually select what all jobs you want to run at a particular time, or on what all sequence you want to run the job. Suppose you want to carry out Abc segmentation, okay, and then you want to carry out statistical forecasting. So the series also you can decide and design over here or configure over here. So what you will have to do is you will have to create one, okay, give a name to your template. So this is basically a job template that you are creating, and you will assign all the tasks that you want to perform. Okay, so it can have one, it can have multiple of tasks as well. Okay, so let's take an example of Abc Xyz. Okay, now you will have to share this, otherwise it will become a private for you and you can only run this thing. So the recurrence pattern, I would like to have this singular. So now then the next step would be to maintain steps. Go and click here the maintain steps. Okay, go and select this add. Once you select this add, you will find this Abc Xyz segmentation, the same that we have seen there earlier. Once you select this, you will have to save the job template. Once you save this job template, it will come over here with the parameter section. So these are the parameters that you will have to set up. So this is the same as that I have shown you just now in the job where we have scheduled the job through a web UI. So once you save this, once you have selected and given all the mandatory fields, then you will have to save this. Okay, otherwise you can do a check and then you can save this. So this will again give you a message, you can schedule the job. So after that you will save it. So once you save this, okay, I'll not save this because I've already configured one. So once you save this, what you will have to do is you will have to log out of your Excel sheet and then re-log in, so that the changes what you have done or the configuration what you have done will take place, will take effect. And then once you come over here to the run, you will find the application job template, and when you select this one, you will see that your job that you have created just now, it will appear over here. Okay, and then what you will do is you will carry out. So let's execute this and see what is the result. So once this is done, now we can go to the status and look at the status of the job that we have just scheduled it. So it is in process. Let's refresh it. Okay, so yeah, depending upon the data and this will take some time and it will be done soon. Okay, so once this is being done, let us go and see the lock feature of the ABC ID and the XYZ ID lock feature. So let's go to home, go to the master data, okay, master data type. Now here you will find the product master data type. Just go inside there and you will find their ABC locked. This is the attribute, and XYZ locked attribute. This is a feature where in this attribute, if you maintain A, B or C, that will get locked, and even after carrying out the ABC segmentation, the value will not change. Okay, we'll also see this as an example. Meanwhile, we'll check the status. So hopefully this is done now. It's still in process. Okay, so we're just taking a lot of time. Let's wait for a few minutes and before this gets complete. Let's wait for a few minutes. Okay, so this is finished. Okay, so let's refresh this page and include the attributes for the ABC ID and XYZ ID in a planning book. So we'll go into the edit view, go into your level, planning level, select ABC code and XYZ code and click on OK. So now you can see that XYZ segmentation has been carried out as well as the ABC segmentation. So now user can restrict ABC or XYZ if a business wants that only XYZ segmentation to be carried out or only ABC segmentation to be carried out. Then in that case you will have to just switch off one of the operator. But in my case I have ran both the operators and here's the result. So let's go and check the dashboard where it is more illustrative and from where a demand planner can actually pick up the combination of the product and the customer for which he or she wants to carry out the planning. So let's go into the dashboard. So scroll up under the general panel, you will find a dashboard. So in the dashboard I have this analytics under my demand planning. So let's go inside that. Okay, and refresh my ABC XYZ segmentation analytics. Let's see this. Look, you have the combination of the AX product, BX. We do not have any material falling into this combination of B and X. We have products falling under C and X. So this actually helps a user or a demand planner to identify or to focus their study or their planning into a few limited so that it brings in more revenue, generates more revenue, it gives you more accurate result. So the A product which are high in volume in terms of revenue and X which is more constant demand. So if you focus into AX, it will definitely give you more predictive result and more accurate results. More accurate planning can be done based on AX, then the AY and then the AZ, and then user can go to BX and BY and BZ, and if they want they can go to CX, CY and CZ. So this is how they can carry out the planning based on this analytics. So they can actually identify the product and the customer combination, and they can plan for those combination more accurately. Okay, so now let's go and look into one more feature in this using how you can use ABC XYZ segmentation in terms of stat forecast. Let's go back to our planning area. Now here, suppose you want to carry out forecast for AX product or AY product only. Okay, so you can very well do that. Go to stat forecasting, and there you will have to select the filter. In the filter you can select the ABC code and select over here the A and add an attribute and select XYZ code. So you can very well limit your limit your restriction, limit your selections and or an options here in this filter. So when I will execute this stat forecasting, it will only run for A and X products, or ABC code A and XY. So wherever products will have the A as an ABC code, it will be used. It will generate a stat forecast for that product. So similarly for the XYZ also. So this is how a demand planner can focus into a few product customer combination and generate a stat forecast, and then they can carry out the supply planning or the inventory planning for those product and the customers. So this is one of the added advantage of using an ABC XYZ segmentation in IBP, wherein user can limit their scope to few of the combinations. Okay, so let's see one more feature. So here we have an ABC and XYZ code. Okay, now depending upon the business need, suppose this particular product, though it is falling under an A category, but the business wants this to be a C and not to be an A. Okay, so how they can do that? They can use a feature called as ABC Locked. Let's go to master data workbook. We'll choose here product, yes, edit it. Okay, and let's select the product for which I want to carry out the changes. So remember this product 01, this is having an A category, so let's select this only, product 01, and we will change the ABC code and we'll add an locked ID, that is the C. So what will happen is, whenever we will run this ABC XYZ segmentation, though it will fall in A category, but it will not generate A for ABC code. Okay, the reason behind this is we have locked the ABC with a C. So instead of this particular product falling under A, it will fall under C. It will not fall under A. The moment we will run the result, we'll run the ABC segmentation, we'll see that this A will not appear. It will not appear there. Okay, let's save these changes first. Okay, and now what we will do is, either you can go ahead and delete this, okay, or you can, yeah, so let's delete this. Okay, let's delete this and save it. Okay, so now you do not have an ABC code over here, you have an ABC locked at C. So now you will see that here, let me refresh it, it will disappear from here, so it has now none. Okay, now if I run an ABC XYZ segmentation, this product will not participate because this product has an ABC locked as C. So you will not find here A, and others it will give the result based on the segmentation result. So let's go and run the application job template. Next, run it. Okay, and let's check the status. Okay, it's in process. Finished. It's finished. Let's refresh it and you will find that it is as none. The reason is, let us add an attribute here, ABC locked. Let's move it and look, because of this it is not participating in ABC XYZ segmentation and it is carrying well for other products. So this is how also you can limit. So this is an advantage of using an SAP IBP or an ABC XYZ segmentation. This helps a lot for a demand planner, for a management review, for preparing their study or limit their studies, so that when they are preparing this for the management review or the executive review, they can focus their studies in they can focus their decisions, or they can take their decisions based on certain products and customer. So this definitely helps a demand planner or other stakeholders, whoever carries out a demand review in an S&OP cycle. So this is ABC XYZ segmentation. So this is it. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for watching.